Hey, this is Risa, and in this video I want to talk to you about 5 things to avoid when drawing realistically with pencils. Number 1 would be flat value. I often see people shade with HB or sometimes even H pencils, so hard pencils, and it ends up leaving the drawing a little bit too overexposed and flat. It doesn't mean it has to be badly shaded, it just leaves it kind of missing a focal point or something. So with using a 6P or anything else, any hard pencil, soft pencil, you just bring in some focal point on maybe the eyes or something, and you just put in some more shadows, and it makes it look a little bit more lifelike. Also, you can really make things pop with a background or something that is dark and compared to the light skin. In the end, I often like to use an 8B to just really bring out the eyes and really dark shadows, but only really on the darkest things. Okay, number 2 would be brushed hair. Why do I write so slow? So this happens when you really just draw the hair in the direction it flows, which is good, and it can have really good round shading, but by making it really it's only in that one direction, it can look a little bit too neat, and literally like he just brushed his hair and no wind whatsoever came by, and it's just a little bit unnatural, because hair always does crazy things, we all know that. So the way to solve this is to just try to erase some strands that go in different directions and draw in the shadows underneath. It creates some kind of triangle shapes. And like these strands will cast shadows, so underneath you can make it darker, and everything just looks a little bit more natural. And he just went through his hair and it just felt like that. It just looks a bit more realistic like that, I think. Number 3 would be Porcelain Skin. And this is kind of the little brother of flat value. It happens when you actually have good shadows with 6P and everything, and you have light and dark, but you're kind of missing the in-betweens. Like the skin looks a little bit too whitewashed. You all know that skin isn't really white. Skin is skin colored, and it's gray like that, and you kind of have to put that into the drawing, otherwise it will just look really like it's overexposed again. So the way to solve this is to just go over your whole drawing with your whole skin with just a blending stump and make everything gray like that. And you can erase the highlights, but only really the white highlights, nothing else. And then shade it like that, and it will look more natural, more lifelike, since the skin is now a little bit gray instead of white. If you're having trouble getting the values right, try to put your image into grayscale, and you will see that the skin is gray and not white. Number 4 would be Borderlands Lips. Yes, Borderlands like the game, because they outline everything. And this is like my biggest pet peeve ever. It's when people outline the lips, and they can shade it so well, but there's just this line around it that does not have to be there. So yeah, instead of that, try to maybe sketch the middle line first, and don't outline the lips in the sketch. Sorry. Because the skin actually just goes into this different color, and it doesn't actually have any border or anything. So you can try putting the shade with a blending stump, and that will make it a little bit more smooth. And especially on the lower lips to the right and left, it's always kind of a transition. Even though it has a little bit of the darker shade, it's always a transition kind of from light to darker. So try to remember that. The last one, number 5, would be rushing it. So you have this really great sketch, or maybe not great, just it's a sketch, it works, you will make it better. And you just go right into it with your 6B, pressing really hard, doing your eye. And then you want to do the other side and realize something's off. And you realize, wait, this light shadow is supposed to be further to the right. If you compare it with the white one, and then darker shadow is supposed to be further right also, and that makes the whole eye supposed to be further to the right. And yeah, it just looks stupid, so you want to erase it and fix it, and you do just that, but it doesn't actually erase anymore because you press too hard, and now there's this gray stuff, and even if you try drawing over it, it just won't really work too well. It'll just look a little bit dirty and like you failed and are trying to fix it. So you don't want that to happen. Even the bar was wrong. I did everything wrong here. Yeah, it looks like really crazy. I know. Oh god. Well, so instead of doing that, try to go slowly. First shade with an HB, and even only when you're like really sure that it's right, only then you can go over it with a 6p. And still press really lightly, because like this you can still erase things. Even if you draw lightly with 6p, you can erase most of it. So yeah, only if you're like completely 500% sure it's good, then you can press hard with your 6p and make your eye really dark. So especially when drawing dark hair, I also see that, because you just, I'm always tempted as well to just make everything black, but you really shouldn't do that. You should go slowly and press really softly with your pencil, and also erase some strands then, and slowly build it up. Even though it's supposed to be completely black in the end, I would still try to build up some strands underneath, because when you draw it with pencil like this, usually you don't get it to be 100% dark, and you will see that, and then it will look just ugly and washed. So try to go slowly and make room for your mistakes, because we all make mistakes all the time. Okay, so these are my 5 tips, 5 things to avoid in drawing realistically, and subscribe maybe or not, you know. And yeah, thanks for watching and have a great day.